Welcome to Content with Character, the weekly podcast that'll give you the momentum you need to create content with more ease, clarity, and laughter. I'm your host, content copywriter Emily Aborn, and I'm all about unconventional marketing approaches. I believe in your big ideas, and I'm excited to help you share them in a way that's distinctly you. Oh yeah, Emily, I already posted that. I already said that. People already know who I am and what I do. They know what I offer and how I work. I've already said it. I just said it in last week's email. If you've ever said or thought any of those things, and yes, my hand is raised too, as it relates to your content and marketing, this episode is for you. We're going to get into the art of repetition, why it's important, show you just how powerful it is when you maybe reframe it to be cohesion instead. Hi, welcome back to the Content with Character podcast. I'm so excited. I'm delighted to announce that we are in birthday month of the podcast over here. We're celebrating a year of Content with Character fun together. So if you are new to the show, welcome. If you have been here the entire time, it's just as much as a celebration for me as it is for you. And no matter when you're tuning in, I hope that you find these episodes really, really valuable and they're as much as a gift to you as they are for me to make them for you. If you are a regular listener, I want to take an extra quick second and just super appreciate you for being here. I really thank you all for the amazing positive feedback you give me, both in Apple reviews, all of those, oh my gosh, are you in my brain messages, just all of it. Thank you so much. Thank you I truly feel like I'm getting a big old hug and lots of love from you. So I feel it. I hope you do too, right back at you in each and every single episode. Love Fest over. We are going to get right into it because this is going to be a shorter one this week. I know that the last two episodes have been lengthier. I mean, we had a lot to deep dive into, but this week I said to myself, Emily, we must give them something short and sweet. So I am giving you something short and sweet and really fast before we jump into the topic of the day, which is all about repeating ourselves, repetition, cohesion, which I'll explain. I want to take a quick second for, the 50-second time to repeat myself and introduce you to who I am. I like to be an example and practice what I teach, walk the walk. And in case you're new here, or in case you didn't hear it the past 51 times, and also in case, maybe your brain has always tuned this part out, or your thumb has actively skipped ahead those next 15 seconds, I like to take time every single episode and just let you know who I am. I'm Emily Aborn. I'm a content copywriter. I help small business owners write SEO-rooted website copy, blogs, emails, and other marketing materials. And I do it in a way that really helps to encourage them to embrace their personality, share their unique message loud, proud, and yes, on repeat. Lots and lots of times. So if you ever are curious and want to learn more about me, I always include my contact links in the show notes. And without further ado, we're not going to do around today because we got to get right into it. We'll get into now why I repeat myself so often, not just in telling you who I am, but also in my overall message. I want to really shine a light on why repetition is so important for your message and just throughout your entire business too. So let me ask you this. Maybe you get a little frustrated talking about the same thing over and over and over again in your business, or you get tired of repeating yourself, or maybe you feel annoying that you're repeating yourself. Sometimes it gets old, right? It gets old when we feel like we have told people no less than 10 million times who we are and what we do. But today I want to show you why it's actually important and it does not need to be annoying. In fact, it is not annoying. So recently I went into a local business and the owner and her staff were standing around and she had asked me what I did for work. So I shared with them that I was a copywriter and they didn't really know what the term copywriting meant. So I had to explain it. I very in detail broke it down, kind of talked to them through some of the other marketing pieces. And let's just say it was a small local business mini education, right? So it was in my mind, a very memorable situation. In fact, I actually told the story, I think, already on this podcast. Well, I go back in again recently for another purchase. This time it was like a little bit more of a substantial situation. And the owner, she did not only not remember my name, she also, again, asked me what I did for work. And so clearly she had not remembered it from the last time, even though I went into all that depth explaining it. Another thing I often get is people will ask me, how's the mattress store going? And now this is another story for another day, but I'll sum it up. My husband and I used to own a retail store which sold organic bedding products and non-toxic mattresses. And still to this day, I mean, we've been out of that business for a little over 5-6 years. And still to this day, I get inquiries about mattresses. People ask me how the mattress store is going. So in the case of this lady and the people who ask me about the mattress store, I get it. They have a lot going on. They have a zillion things. Her specifically, she has a bunch of customers coming in and going. They are busy. They're frazzled. They have their own life on their mind. They have their own things on their mind, their own businesses on their mind. And even when we tell them 3, 4, 5 times, some people still don't remember who we are, what we do, and sometimes they don't even remember your name. Those might be a little bit of like extreme cases, but for in-person interaction, I'd say specifically. But think about the online space, okay? That is like, those cases are like the tip of the iceberg because people are flying around fast in the online space. Their attention spans are getting shorter and they're probably not giving a ton of time out of their day to reading your post. Never mind soaking up any of that beautiful nuance that you took so much time pouring into your post. So last week, I got into how and why to repurpose written content. Next week, we're going to touch a little bit more on repurposing, but we're going to talk about audio and video content. And this week, I said, you know what? We need the peanut butter and jelly between those 2 slices of bread. I wanted to be sure to touch on how when we are repurposing, and even when we're just sharing new information in general or sharing fresh, we cannot assume anything. We can't assume people know who we are. We can't assume people know what we do. We can't assume they've listened to all 52 of our podcast episodes to date or heard that very specific episode where we already broke down this, that, or the other. Now, I'm not saying this to say, oh, well, we have to say the exact same thing each and every week. But I want to encourage us that it's okay that there are topics, and there are plenty of them, that you're going to cover again, that you're going to maybe explain in different ways. You're going to explain again. You're going to reintroduce them. So I want to help us reframe this repetition feeling or repeating ourselves feeling to cohesion and really think of it as, okay, I am creating a unified, cohesive message. In my mind, cohesion is one of the pillars of good marketing. It's a brand that looks, feels, and sounds the same no matter where you are interacting with it. Cohesion is people being able to see or hear something and see you in it before you even say, this is me. Cohesion is when they maybe don't even need to know your exact name, but they know that it is you who did that work. And cohesion helps us to build awareness, concrete our message for people, and show ourselves as the expert in our industry or in our field. So they know, oh, Kristen can help you with that. Or, oh, if that's what you need to call Doug. Last year, I took a very thorough 10-month SEO course with my colleague, Erin Alila. And in month 4, Erin had us pick a topic and approach it from all different angles. So really, we were supposed to be finding like different keywords within the topic to practice with those various keywords. I chose the topic of repurposing, and I ended up with 6 individual blogs, a podcast episode, 4 emails, and gazillions, yes, that was a little hyperbolic, tons of social media posts. And I did that all by just talking about the same exact topic, repurposing, in a different way. Now, that month specifically, that was a little bit of a unique, it was a little bit different. and how I approached my content creation. And first of all, I would never commit myself to creating that much content in a month again. That was a little bit much. But that experimental month really taught me so much about the value of repetition, not just for the people receiving your message, but also for you as the creator. So I came up with 5 reasons why I think that repetition is effective and also really, really important. So let's get into those 5 reasons. Reason number 1, people probably didn't see it the first time. Rewind if you need that one again. Oh, no, I'll just say it again. People probably didn't see it the first time. But in addition to people moving fast, they also don't follow you in all of the places. They don't listen to all of the things. They don't read all your emails or read all your posts. So it's important to remember that they're not always seeing everything that you're sharing. They consume information in different places and in different ways. So we never really can assume that someone saw it in one place, they saw it that first time, and we can't even really assume that they saw it the 7th time either. Marketing stats used to show that people needed an average of 8 touches to be interested in working with you or collaborating with you or buying from you. And I gotta think that in 2024, that number has got to be even higher at this point, because have you seen TikTok? Have you seen the cat videos on Instagram? I'm not on TikTok, but I've seen my friends who are, and yeah. Modern media is moving fast and people are flying along with it. So chances are very high people didn't see it the first time. Reason number 2, there's so much power in going deeper versus wider on a topic. Oh, the places you will go if only you go deeply to the place. That's not really the MO that all of us like to fly by, and I know that. But I know for me, after practicing it and really experiencing it, I really want to be a master of one versus a Jill of all trades. I want to go really deep on the things that I know. And that means for me that I have to look at it from all different angles, consider other approaches, sometimes rethink and revise the way that I share something, or maybe even my thoughts on it. But it really does give you, when you are repetitive or cohesive, as we're going to get into, it really gives you the opportunity to go deeper on topics, speak to different people who might deal with the same issues as you say it in different ways. Reason number 3, sometimes now just isn't the time, but tomorrow is. You know when you read something and you're like, that didn't land with me. And then one day you read the exact same thing or you hear the exact same quote and your mind is just blown. I mean, maybe that is just me, but I don't think so. Sometimes you're just not in the right place or the right space, or it's not the right time or emotional state to receive what you're taking in. And when you hear it again later, or you read it again later, even if that person has said it on all 52 of their podcast episodes, I don't know what it is, but this time it just sticks and becomes the turning point for you. That is one of the many magical powers that being repetitive or cohesive holds for your content. Sometimes now isn't the time, but tomorrow may be. Reason number 4, repetition helps you improve just about any skill or craft. So this is really for you, the creator. The more you practice introducing yourself, the more you say what you do, the more you share how you help, the more you talk out that framework or write out your process to your clients, the more you repeat yourself, the better you get. Think of it as, refining a craft, like improving your basketball game, right? It takes hours and hours and hours of practice. And our message is no exception. The more you repeat, the better and clearer you're going to get. Okay, and lastly, my last reason, I really think that repetition, cohesion, helps you to hone in on what you really think, feel, and believe. This is, again, more for you, the creator, but I personally find that when I am a guest on other people's podcasts with the same topic in multiple places, so for example, one that people often bring me onto their show for is talking about curiosity marketing or out-of-the-box visibility ideas, and I do lots of workshops on those too. The more workshops I do on any given topic, the more clear I get on what I really think, feel, and believe about the topic. It helps me to understand not just to be able to express it more clearly, but really how I feel very, very clearly. And then I'm able to kind of refine those feelings, those thoughts, those beliefs, upgrade them and update them as they change and as needed. So I think those are really the 5 benefits. And the major one, just to say it 3 times, is it brings this element of cohesion to your message. It helps people clearly understand that you are the solution, what you are the solution for, so that they can tell all their friends you're the first one to pop into their mind when they need support. It also is that thing that makes it so that when they see your content out in the wild, they know it's you before you've even said so. Now, when I say repetition, sometimes I do actually mean repeating it verbatim, and sometimes it looks more like repurposing. Repurposing is not copy and paste. You may remember that from last week's episode. Repurposing is not cutting and pasting. That's what we call cross-posting, or in layman's terms, copying and pasting. Repetition is about saying things in different ways. So you're really taking this kind of different mindset and approaching the same things from different angles, finding different stories that all kind of lead to the same point or have that same culmination point. It's really about like being consistent with your message. So you're not repeating yourself. You're actually doing everybody a favor because you're really clearly explaining things in different ways. You are taking the extra step to meet different brains, different personalities, different emotions right where they are at. And it is such a beautiful thing. So a couple things I want to remind you of. These are like little pep talks, 4 little pep talks. I want to remind you of these things when you're thinking of adding more repetition to your messaging. You're not annoying, okay? You're not being annoying if you repeat yourself and your message. We need to get that out of our head. First of all, you're a business. Without buyers, customers, clients, you don't have a business. So it's not annoying to repeat, to remind, to offer continuously your products and services. You're a business. It's not annoying. Secondly, you have to share in today's day and age, you have to share your event, your workshop, your podcast episode more than once. Sometimes what I've even learned with events and workshops specifically is that if you don't continuously share, people might think that, oh, it's not happening anymore or it got canceled. And again, most people didn't even see all of those repeats. They didn't see you post it all of those times. They don't follow you in all the places, but they're also passing by different forms of content depending on how their brains work and depending on kind of what they're looking for. So maybe there's a certain platform where you're posting where when they go on it, they just get distracted. But then you post it onto another platform and it catches their eye because it's one that they're more focused on, right? So a lot of times people don't even see when we're repeating ourselves because either they're not following us in all the places or when they're on a certain platform, they're just kind of passing by various things. People need repetition for it to land, like lots of repetition. I mean, let's see if that shop owner, I have to go back in there soon. Let's see if she can remember what I do this time around. We shall see. But remember, it's like 8 touch points for a conversion for sure. But there's other factors too, like 8 touch points for people to start knowing us and liking us and trusting us. Like I do imagine it is getting even a bit higher than that 8. So there's a lot to share and there's a lot of angles that you may not have even considered yet. And that's where I love this concept of repurposing. So I want to give you a fun example, specifically around events, because I think this is one that's often overlooked. So let's say you are sharing about an event and a lot of people will post about the event. They just do that single post, right? Sharing the event or maybe create a Facebook event or whatever. They give the bullet points, they give the call to action, they describe the event, and then bada bing, bada boom, they sit back and wait for people to come pouring into that event and sign up. But going back to our 4 little reminders, we have to share these things more than once. People probably do not see all of the repeats. They're not following us in all of the places. And they also need that repetition for it to land. So in one single event, you have so many opportunities to talk about it in different ways from different angles. Let me give you some like tangible examples. In one, let's say I'm talking about the upcoming mini retreat I'm doing with the Hannah Grimes Center in Keene. I have an opportunity to bring people into that experience every step of the way, even before the day of the event. Now, unfortunately, in that instance, the event is already booked, so I can't keep on sharing about it. But there is maybe the why behind why we're doing the event, okay? So why did we decide to even do this event in the first place? That's a post. That's a story. There is who is going to be there. That's at least, 6 stories, 6 posts. There is what the day consists of. The details for the detailed people. Those detailed people, don't forget about those people. They need to know what they're in for. There's sharing maybe about the sponsors, why those are the sponsors, giving those sponsors their moment in the sun. You maybe want to talk about the venue or share special characteristics about the venue. Then there's also like something fun you can do, which is like sharing quotes that relate to the theme of the event or anything to kind of create that excitement related to the day of. And then, of course, there's like the peeks behind the scenes, right? So maybe when you're setting up or you're ordering the goodies and the gifts, like there's all of that kind of stuff leading up to the event where you can even bring people to the event, make them get a little taste of that experience before even it has kicked off, before it's even started. Some other ideas I thought of are like you could share stats and facts that kind of relate to what the day is about or to the purpose of the day. Or event. Reminders to get tickets, countdowns, contests, giveaways, resources and tips that the specific attendees of your day might find helpful. Maybe what to wear that day, what to bring, what to expect. And then any frequently asked questions, every single one of those can be an individual post, an individual thing that you share. And you can get all of that. I mean, I think I just came up with like 20 things for you, but you can get all of that from just one single event or workshop, and you still have not repeated yourself. You've just been cohesive. It is amazing how much you can come up with around any one topic that you may not have even considered yet. So that's really what I want to encourage you. I want to encourage you that repetition isn't simply saying the same thing over and over and over again. It's not repeating yourself for just the sake of repeating yourself. It's trying to think a little bit outside the box, say things in different ways, approach it from different angles, and don't hesitate. Don't be shy about sharing it on different platforms. It really does bring a level of cohesion to your business as a whole. It also brings you and your potential customer a lot of clarity, helps strengthen your message, and highlights all that sweet, sweet expertise that I know you have. It is a really powerful tool. Repetition is such a powerful tool. It helps create a cohesive brand and resonate with your audience no matter where they are and where they're picking up what you're putting down. And that's it. That's all I got for you. I promised you short and sweet. And for once, I delivered. I delivered. So next week, we're going to talk about repurposing again from that different angle. And we're going to talk about that repurposing podcast, audio, video. I have a few ideas on making that whole process a little bit easier. And I want to share a resource that one of my friends just recently created as well. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your week, and I will chat with you then. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Content with Character. If you loved the episode, please make sure to subscribe to the podcast, rate, review, and share it with someone else you know it could help. For more content and visibility tips, visit my blog at emilyaborn.com, and be sure to connect with me on Instagram at emilyaborn. I'd love to hear how this inspired you to take action.